This year has gotten off to a discombobulated start, no doubt. As you can see behind me, Christmas tree is still up here at Ednam. We'll get that taken care of before the business meeting on Wednesday. But we had obviously the holidays, and we had New Year's falling on a Saturday, and all ready to kind of get geared back up beginning of last week. And of course the snow hit, and I'm guessing, Beth Ann, you guys finally have power back.
We do. We were actually some of the more fortunate in Louisa. We got ours back on Wednesday evening.
Wow. Okay.
So, but we have neighbors that just got it back last night.
Yeah, supposedly 97% of Louisa County was without power.
Yeah, we really got hammered with snow, and there were so many. I mean, the county looks like a war zone. There's so many trees down.
Yeah. I had more tree damage in my yard than I've had in the 16 years I've lived in the house. And I joked, I saw Dos Amigos on the road the other day at a stoplight, and I rolled my window down and I said, "You guys are making bank right now, aren't you?" I mean, it's good for their economy. That's definitely for sure. And knowing Russ has got some chainsaw, and he's probably rescued all of his neighbors. And they're all beholden to him now, no doubt. And Isaac Struthers, who's a tree guy and who's getting his license, he's going to join our green office. He's supposed to be coming to my house this morning to deal with our stuff. So, but anyway, the snow hit, it kind of knocked everybody for a loop. We were out of power here at Ednam for the whole week until Thursday night. So I came in, each day just to, square things around, even though I had no internet or phones or anything. And by Thursday, when I came in, you could have hung meat from the ceiling in this building with the high ceilings and everything. I mean, it was chilly in here, I'm telling you. And then for me personally, Dottie got sick before New Year's, had a sore throat and whatever. And so we were a little nervous, but she tested negative for COVID and had a throat culture and tested negative for strep, but she just wasn't getting better. And then it turned into this excruciating earache. And we just couldn't knock it down. Tried one antibiotic because we thought it might be strep, and it didn't work. So we tried another antibiotic that was more for the ear. It didn't work. And then I went back to the doctor Wednesday and we took a culture on her ear. And I've never heard of this before, but she had strep in her ear, which I, never heard of. So on to antibiotic 3 on a Sunday morning. And this morning she woke up with no temperature, slept better, and felt like her ear was better. But I mean, it will have been 2 weeks tomorrow that she's just, I've never seen her sicker. And I even asked her the other day, maybe we ought to have another test done on COVID because you're just so fatigued and tired. And she said, "I don't have any symptoms for COVID. I just have this excruciating earache." And sure enough, she had strep in her ear. So thankfully she's doing better. And hopefully she's on the rebound. But anyway, the point being is, it's been a discombobulating first 8 days of the new year. And I almost feel like, well, I don't almost do, I do feel like we need to reboot. We literally need to, normally the holidays and Happy New Year and everything, we have the time to relax and kind of be with family and do things. And it gives us sort of that natural opportunity to reboot. But then with the snow hit, it just changed everything. And so here we are on January 9th or January 10th. And, we're a third of the way into this month. And for a lot of us, we're just getting the month started. And if you think about, shutting down for several days at the end of December, it's been a good 2 or 3 weeks. And so we really need to focus in when we think about daring to be great, which obviously is what this Monday morning session is about. When we think about daring to be great, that's a commitment. You're daring yourself to take yourself someplace you've never been before. And I think that's from Star Trek, right? Uh, but you're daring yourself to take yourself to some place you've never been before. And that takes a commitment. And a couple, 3 weeks ago, I was listening to a podcast, and the fella talked about, obviously it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So he's talking about setting goals for 2021 and, or 2022, sorry. And he talked about changing the word goal to commitment. That instead of saying my goal is, we say my commitment is. I'm going to commit to making this happen. I'm going to commit to doing this. You know, we talk from time to time about Mel Robbins, her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sort of mentality. And if you've never read about that, just Google Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you'll find it. She wrote a book, and it's a phenomenal book, and it's actually quite appropriate for what we're talking about this morning, because everything was going great in their lives. And then they decided to open up a pizza place. And they did incredibly well at the pizza place, even though both of them were, she and her husband were both working. And it went so well that, what did they do? They expanded and increased the overhead and everything, and staff and everything. And then what happened? COVID hit. And all of a sudden they weren't getting the people in there. And I think it was COVID. Now that I say that, it might've been a little bit before, but anyway, the bottom line is the business started to go south. And then her husband lost his job. And then she lost her job. And so she literally was in a place where she couldn't get out of bed. Got little kids, a mom, whatever, but she was so depressed and so discouraged that she literally couldn't get out of bed. And one day she was there, and she doesn't even know why she did it, but she just decided to go like shooting off a rocket. She just decided to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she got out of bed. And she started putting one foot in front of the other. And from that, she began to rebuild her life, her family. And she became this incredible motivational speaker, wrote a book. I'm sure it did quite well. She even had a TV show on for a while. She was a talk show host for a while. She just had an incredible amount of success because she sort of rebooted and reoriented herself into, okay, what do I need to do to not only get myself mentally better, but to be a good mom, to be a good wife, to figure out how to make a living. And so I guess I would say that this morning, I want us to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just start over again. Okay, I'm going to do this, and today's Monday, January 10th, and I'm going to start this year and really, really get it off to a good start. And I'm going to share the screen because I want to run through some things with you, but I want to have you guys chat a little bit as well. Yes, as I'm doing this, just be thinking about ways that you're thinking about, really gaining momentum, really stepping out there one step at a time to gain the kind of momentum that you want to have. Because as this, weather, begins to get better, people are going to be out and about wanting to buy and sell real estate. And Vince and I have a lot of cool things that we did a pilot program over the last couple of weeks that's gone really, really well using open to close and engage, similar to what we did up in Greene County with Oktoberfest, but we took it to the next level. And tomorrow during AHA, I'm going to basically do a workshop on what we did with that. And then Wednesday, we've got a business meeting. David Boisvert is coming in and going to give us an update on Atlantic Builders and the things they're doing, not only over in the Valley, but over at Southwood. They and Southern Development are the ones that are part of that Southwood affordable housing scenario. Really cool thing. Mike Grogan will be here from Howard Hanna. We're going to talk about the HannaCon that's coming up in March. I really hope that some of you guys will sign up to do that and go to Las Vegas. Lord willing, all the COVID stuff will allow that to happen. But we're also going to talk about the one word that I've chosen for myself for the year, but I've also chosen it for the company because I think it goes hand in glove. And for those of you that follow my blog, If you go to thankfulinallthings.com, you can read about the fact that, I choose a word every year. And this year I chose the word unity. And the reason I chose the word unity, not for only for myself, and I'll talk more about this on Wednesday as it relates to the company, is that I break unity down in this way. Uncompromised, never ending
Oh, no, that's fine. Just run the-
intensity toward yes. Hang on a second. Uncompromised, never ending intensity toward yes. And, I've thought about this a lot and think about my own personal life, just myself, just me personally, just having an intensity toward yes. From a standpoint of our world is fragmented and divisive and everything, if we can get people to come together with an uncompromised, never-ending intensity toward yes, we can have breakthrough and bring people together versus, tearing each other apart. I saw a really cool thing on 60 Minutes last night. Now I'm not going to remember the name of it, but this guy has created this project where he brings people in and records them. And record story with, did you see it, Beth Ann? Yeah, do you remember what the name of it was? It was
I think it's called Story Place or Story Time.
Core Story, maybe?
Core Story, maybe. It's story something.
Anyway, it's pretty amazing where, it's about bringing people together face to face that have differing opinions, and that when they do that, they can't, it changes everything because they see the person as a human being, and they see that they have the favorite food or their favorite movie or, whatever the case may be. And so anyway, that whole aspect of unity, from a standpoint of an uncompromised, never-ending intensity toward yes, that can be about your business as well. Creating unity with your sphere of influence, with the database that you're putting together. And if you can, get everybody with this uncompromised, never-ending intensity toward yes for you and your business, it can really, create momentum. And we really do want to be focusing in on the people that we know and the people that we've done business with. And because they're the folks who know that we do business well, and they want to help you. So as we think about rebooting and we think about this uncompromised, never-ending intensity toward yes, that we need to have a focus. We need to be committed to daring to be great. Making a commitment that I am going to do things outside my comfort zone this year. I am going to start doing things every single day that are going to be building blocks to a successful 2022. Give you an example for me personally. I'm on this, not a lot, but I'm on this social media app called Clubhouse. And Clubhouse that's an interesting place where you can go and you can literally go into a room, obviously virtually, and listen to all sorts of different concepts and techniques and sales stuff and motivational stuff and anti-vax and pro-vax and all these different things. And I've gone into rooms and just really learned a lot about how different people think. I read a book. You guys have heard me talk about this. I read a book a while back called The Third Option by Miles McPherson. And it's all about reconciliation, relational reconciliation, whether it be racial reconciliation, whether it be familial reconciliation. His point was we need to surround ourselves with people, having an inner circle of people that we know care about us, but are willing to share our blind spots with us. That if we all are locked and loaded as it relates to, we have the same thoughts, well, we may never ever see any other thoughts because we have blind spots. And the same thing goes with your business, to surround yourself, get with one or two of the folks, in this room or in your office or whatever, and just say, hey, these are the things that I'm thinking about doing this year. This is how I'm thinking about doing it. What do you think? And getting their input. Not that they should dissuade you because you have to be your person, right? You got to do it your way. But being able to have other people speak into what you're doing and encourage you makes a huge difference. And as I wrote it about in the blog, not yesterday, but the week before, as it related to my word unity, unity doesn't mean uniformed, right? And that's what's cool about our business. Again, we're all independent contractors. We're all running our own real estate business. We've given Howard Hanna, Roy Wheeler Realty Company, the privilege of opening up our businesses under that umbrella, but we're all going to do it different. So unity doesn't have to be uniformed. Unity has to be unending, uncompromised, never-ending intensity toward yes. And figuring out ways that together we can do more. That adage of team, right? But as you think about focusing and being great, I want to just kind of run through this real quickly, but then I want to just open it up and ask you guys kind of what kinds of things are you thinking about to implement in your business? And again, Vincent and I are going to be really trying to help you. And Ben Fuller's coming in again next week. I think late Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, leaving Wednesday afternoon. So make sure that you look at the Google sign up sheet. And if there's individual times, sign up for one. If there's, sort of a, group of people get together. But focusing on being great in 2022, 3-step process. And we've gone through this before, but developing a plan, organizing the plan, implementing the plan. So we're rebooting. We're getting ourselves back up and running for 2022. Have I developed a plan? Do I have a plan as to where my business is going to come from? Have I begun to organize it? Like I said, the last 2 weeks have been so discombobulated. You may have had things that you were going to do, and I'm going to guess that if you're honest, they haven't happened. I know that's true for me. As an example, yesterday, because I knew it was about me, what did I do? I sat down and I started doing some things that I told myself I was going to do. The Daily Progress does a distinguished dozen recognition at the end of December and into January every year for 12 people, deserving people that are doing incredible things in our community to make us a better place to live and to make it a better place to live for others. And I have a commitment every year that I write those people. I figure out how to write them, whether it's at their office or at their home. Preferably, I try to find their home address. And I write them a note saying, I just want you to know, I noticed that you got recognized and I want to thank you. Nothing about business. It's just thank you for doing something different. The other thing I did, and I don't know if you guys have ever thought about doing this. Well, I'll save that for what you guys are thinking about doing. Some of you may have been doing that. But anyway, organizing the plan. Okay, I developed it. Now I got to organize it. And then I got to implement it. And this goes back to what I used to call the 6 Ds to reach your destination. And I have added a 7th D. I know you're happy about that. I know you can't wait to hear what that 7th D is. But again, what do? We dream. As we reboot, we think back and we bring back up what it is we want to do with 2022, how successful we want to be with in 2022. And one of the ways of dreaming is I would encourage you to think about this one word thing. And you can go to onewordchallenge.com and walk yourself through how to come up with one word. Again, I've been doing it for years, and it's amazing for me how it has impacted my life. But anyway, the 7 Ds, you're going to dream it, you're going to design it, you're going to develop it, right? And then you're going to have the desire and the discipline to follow through with the plan. So those are the first 5. The 6th one, which I've added, is detour. And the reason I've added detour is because I was listening to something the other day, and I love this line: failure does not have to be the dead end or the end of the road. Failure can be a detour that takes you around what could have been not the right thing for you and to what is the 7th D, your destination. And ultimately that destination is your dream that you put together at the beginning has become a reality. Now, at the end of the day, you've gone through this and you find that There were detours along the way. There was snow that came in that knocked out the power. There was a buyer that you thought was going to buy that didn't, or whatever the case may be. Those are just detours around something. And I love the way he talked about it, because he talked about using Waze. He's going someplace, and Waze is saying, go off here and go on to there and go there. And you're going, no, I'm going to go my way. I know the fastest way to get there. And I don't know about you guys, but Waze is almost always right. And the example I use is we were going to the Outer Banks, I guess, one year, and it got totally backed up going across over into Suffolk. And what did Michael say? Waze was telling me to go down this road and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back and I'm going to go through the tunnel to Virginia Beach, and I'll go around that way. That was the worst thing I could have ever done. It took us 2 hours, I think, longer than and it should have. I knew it was best. I knew I could go this way, and Waze was telling me this way. And the point being is that there are going to be detours, and that's where we need to have people around us that can encourage us and to say, no, you're doing the right thing. Keep going in that direction. And the real estate example analogy of that for me is when I was first in the business, a lot like you guys, it didn't happen real fast. I had, in fact, some of you guys have had, a lot more business than I did in my first, year in the business. And I doubted myself. I started thinking, man, I've made a huge mistake. I left a salary job, benefits, got a wife, 2 kids, gone into this full commission, no insurance, scenario, Kaiser Permanente insurance. And I went to my manager and I said, I think I've made a horrible mistake. And like Waze, the manager said, no, you're on the right track. You're doing all the right things. You're disciplined in building a database. You're trying to meet people every day. You're trying to make an appointment every day. You're creating a farm. You're doing open houses. You're doing, but you said, it will turn around for you. You are doing all the right things. And I needed to hear that. And sure enough, things turned around, and I became quite successful as a salesperson before I made the decision to get into management. So again, develop your plan, organize your plan, implement your plan. Before I go into the other two, I'd love to hear you just say out loud, some things that you're thinking about doing differently in 2022 to help you grow your business. No, don't make me talk all by myself.
Okay, so one of the things that I have talked about doing to myself and to others and haven't done is really take a look at my website and make it productive and make it allow it to give me a return on what I need, and to provide for leads, and to be a support for my clients as well, and just to be a value. And I have looked at it 15 times and never done a thing. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make it what I want it to be. Like you said, it needs to be me. It needs to be about me. And I want it to be a value to my clients, and I want it to be a lead generator in some way, and to be just a productive tool that I use to move my business forward.
So, that's great. And the first place I would start is by reaching out to Ben Fuller and asking Ben, hey, this is what I want to do. This is something I really want to happen in 2022, and let him help you, because we're going to be real committed, even more committed to really trying to get folks, focused in on the apps that you have available to you. And not to steal Vincent's thunder for tomorrow or Wednesday, but we ran this pilot program, as I told you about, back in October. And I now have a database of emails from folks that came to Oktoberfest that signed up for a gift certificate, and they're now getting something from us at least once a month. And I truly believe that's going to turn into business for you guys as agents. So I said to Vincent, let's try something else. And what we ended up doing, and you may have seen it, is we did a Facebook thing on win 2 tickets to the Virginia Tech basketball game. I knew that, a lot of Hokies in Charlottesville as well as Who's, and I knew that there'd be a lot of people that would be interested in getting tickets. Other than a couple, 3, knuckleheads who made comments on the Facebook page about, vaccination or not vaccination or things like that, we tried to deal with. But we ended up, what we did is we created this Facebook, and Beth Ann, this goes along with what you're talking about, because you could, once you have your website, you could drive people to your website. And then what happens, going back to lead generation, is they signed up for the tickets for the drawing, right? They immediately went into my Engage email. Since I don't sell, Vincent and I said, well, let's just put it in yours, and that'll be a generic thing. And so as business comes, we can refer it out to the agents. So we did that, and we started it on I think the 3rd of January. I don't know the numbers that Vincent sent me this morning were extraordinary. I think there were, I don't even want to make 15,000, whatever, and then 1,500 hits or clicks that people. We had almost 200 people sign up, and we now have 200 emails of people that signed up for this drawing. Now, next month, so what's going to happen is somebody's going to win this drawing today. And we're going to create a Hannah e-card. I'll find a generic e-card and with a message that says, congratulations to Bill and Mary Smith for winning the tickets to the Virginia, blah, blah. Contact us at such and such to get the tickets. That's going to go out to all 200 people. So they're going to know that somebody won, right? But then what's going to happen is probably February, they'll get a Happy Valentine's Day card through e-cards that says something like, our heart would certainly be fonder if you gave us an opportunity to help you buy or sell a home in 2022. I'm, joking. But anyway, the point being is that goes out, and it is so easy. I mean, I'm doing this myself, you guys. Vincent certainly helped me set it up and everything, but I'm doing all the adding. I've got them all in one category. And so now the next time I get an e-card, I just click on that category and all those people get an email. And it works because about halfway through, I guess it was Saturday, I sent something out to the people that had registered saying, hey, just 2 more days of waiting to see if you win the tickets to the UVA Virginia Tech basketball game. And it went out to all those people again. And we'll see. I mean, the Oktoberfest, we haven't had anybody unsubscribe, and we've sent 3 or 4 things to them now. We'll see out of the 200 people, how many people unsubscribe once, they didn't win the tickets, but we know it works. And so we know, one, we can do this again, but what we want to do is get each of you guys doing it for yourselves and driving those people into your Engage. And then I'm telling you, I'm going to go through this tomorrow. It's so easy to do once you get it set up. I go in once a day, and I go into, as Ben Fuller says, my people, add people, my people, or whatever he says. I go in there, and it immediately pops up the newest people, and all I do is click the boxes and put them in the category. I mean, it is just so easy. So anyway, the point being is, Beth Ann, I applaud you for that, and you can use these different things to drive people. You're open to close at open houses. It drives right in there, and you can have a QR code that sends them right to your website. And then the website, click here, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's great. I look forward to hearing how that goes. And I know Vincent is here to help you in whatever way as well, for sure. How about others? Okay. So you move into number 2. and I'll just go through this real quick because I really want to spend the rest of the time of what are you going to be doing. Investment suggestions. Invest your time, not your money, folks. Invest your time into learning all things Gohana. It is there for you at no cost. No problem, Amanda. Appreciate you being with us. At no cost. It just takes time to learn it and to grab a hold of how this can really impact your business. Talk to somebody like Jay Reeves as an example as to how his business has grown because of all the things he's been doing with the Gohana stuff. Set up a system for regular mailings that you don't have to touch. So again, where Hana e-cards or the Gohana campaigns is so great. You can literally go in on one day and pick out 12 cards and put messages on them. And if you don't think about it again, those are going to go out every month. I mean, and we may even get into that tomorrow just to show you how to do that, depending on how much time we have. Create a personal listing buyer presentation. This will help you so much in gaining confidence that when you get an opportunity to go to a listing or an opportunity to work with a buyer, that you already have your presentations. And absolutely use Hana presentations and get with Vincent to personalize it, because you've got the Hana presentations obviously are generic, but you can personalize them not only to Howard Hanna Roy Wheeler, but to you individually, right? And I'd really encourage you this year to learn RPR, the Realtor, I don't know, something resources. And if you haven't used that, Beth Ann, check, and Russ, check with David Villa and Billy Pleasant. Billy used it on a listing presentation a couple of weeks ago, and it was so much fun to see them in the room here, and David showing him how he does the Hana presentation, because Billy had done his all out of RPR, but then he went back to the seller with the Hana presentation. It was just so much better, so much more professional. Yeah, consider having something you can take prior. That's another thing. Hana presentation, you can print some things out so you can take it prior to actually meeting them. You know, maybe 2 or 3 of the pages, and like if you're doing a 2-step listing appointment, that you're going and you're going to see the house, and you're going to walk around and everything, you can leave them some information. Hey, take a look at this. These are some of the things I'm going to be talking about tomorrow when I come back. Having your own personal brochure, again, very easy to do through Canva. And Vincent, or again, the Howard Hanna graphic designers are available for you to create these kind of things. I know Simone and Dave Alley have been using their stuff and have been very, very pleased. Creating a presence on the internet. You know, this is the same thing I've been saying, you know, beating the drum now for a few years now, but we got to create a presence online. And unfortunately, folks, for some of you, it means being, you know, getting out of your comfort zone and being live, doing some Facebook Live stuff. If you're trying to, you know, be the expert in a particular area, and again, Brenda talked a little bit about this morning in Charge Ahead. Just when you're going to the farm market or going to someplace, just take, it doesn't take long, 15 seconds. And just open up your phone and go Facebook Live and say, hey, I don't know if you knew this, but there's this really cool thing happening on the downtown mall today. We were down here for some other reason, but just ran into it. And, you know, they're going to be here till 4 o'clock this afternoon. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. But people on your Facebook page start seeing those things and they stick there. And if you do one that you like a lot, well, then you can pin it to the top of your Facebook page. So when somebody goes to your site, they see that first. And same thing, Beth Ann, when you get that website set up the way you want it, you can pin your website, even though it's your personal, you can pin that to the top that says, hey, you think about buying or selling real estate, please click here and go to my, you know, website. And in that, you know, over a week, you could say, go to my website and sign up for a gift certificate to someplace, right? And you just pin it so it's there all the time. When I learned that, I don't know, a couple, 3 months ago, just messing around. And I said to one of my children, I said, what does it mean when I pin a post? And they told me, I said, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So now when I do my blog on Sunday, I wait a couple days and then I go in and I pin it. So then it takes over from the one before, and you get more eyeballs on it. But just having a presence, something that going back to what I asked you guys, what am I going to do different in 2022? Well, I'm trying, and I've started to talk about this, and I went a different direction, but I have created my own Clubhouse page now, or club room in Clubhouse, and it's personal. So, and none of you guys want to be there because it's so early in the morning, but 6:30 on Sunday mornings, I've started this Thankful in All Things Clubhouse room. And we just did it Sunday for the first time. We had 5 people that showed up, and we just talked for 45 minutes about, what makes us thankful. And in no matter what, in whatever circumstance, where can we find thankfulness? And just a kind of a feel good kind of thing. I've been thinking about it for a good long while. And a person who I met online, I've never met her in person. She lives in Atlanta, asked me to give a talk this coming Saturday in a thing called Faith Forward Summit. And so I'm giving a 40-minute, talk on what does it mean to move your faith forward. And she is the one who kind of inspired me to do the Clubhouse room, because she said, I really meant to do this in January of 2020, but I just didn't do it. And I, got distracted and, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to Kentucky to this conference, and somebody was just talking kind of about this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 concept. Somebody just talking, you just got to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time. And so she did in December, and she had, I don't know, 6 or 7 speakers, and it went quite well. So she decided it again. And, I got invited to be one of the speakers. So I'm excited about it, but she's the one who kind of inspired me to say, you know what, I'm just going to do this. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't even know how to do it. I'm just going to do it and see what happens. So we'll see what comes from that. But it's just something different, getting out of my comfort zone, putting myself out there to be known in a different sphere, of influence. And, just like you guys, that's kind of my focus, is to really try to have an online presence that's positive, and that makes a positive difference in the world. So anyway, creating a presence, and some of that does cost something. Vincent can help you with Facebook boosting. Russell, can certainly tell you that one of the listings he had, they Facebook boosted, and the numbers were just amazing. How many people ended up seeing that listing after it was Facebook boosted. And it's not real expensive, but it's still a cost. And Vincent can tell you, depending on how far you want the reach to be, what it's going to cost you. And then organizing the plan. It's all about contacts, folks. It's all about lead generation. It's all about, how do I add people in, right? Focus from the very beginning on finding ways to get people calling you versus you having to find them. Spend money on the people you already know versus finding the perfect stranger. Make sure the people that are your top people, are being cared for, or you want to make sure they know that you care for them, that you appreciate them, you appreciate their business, that you appreciate their referrals, whatever the case may be. Don't be fooled. No matter how good you are initially, you have to make the contacts until your plan is in effect that cause people to help you. And what I mean by that is, initially, you're gonna have to do a lot of the lead generation yourself. It will start coming back to you, but cold calling, FISBOs, knocking on doors, expireds, community involvement, floor time, open houses, networking, any of those different things, depending on what your skill sets are, you need to be doing those every day. And then thinking about it, am I a listing agent or a buying agent? We've talked about that before. You want your marketing efforts, the money that you're investing into your marketing, to ultimately long-term lead you into the part of the business that you really want to focus in on. It's what I call the shotgun to the telescopic, right? Initially, it's a wide angle. I'm going after it because I got to find whatever I can find. But ultimately, this is really where I want to be focused, right? And then implementing your plan, the follow-up system, the mailing program. At least 1 hour every day should be spent on making contacts, lead generation. Every month should be scheduled in advance as to what activities you plan. Get a month calendar and put in open house on not this Sunday. Today's the 10th, the 23rd. I'm going to do an open house on the 23rd. I'm going to do an open house on the first Sunday in February. I'm going to do an open house on the third Sunday in February. Get those into the calendar. You may not know which open house you're going to do yet, but you can look at that calendar on your wall and go, oh, wait, I need to find an open house this week so I can begin marketing toward it. I can get some flyers out. I can do some different things. I do Facebook Live. Hey, I'm walking through the Still Meadow neighborhood today, just trying to get a feel for the neighborhood because I'm going to be holding a house open here Sunday from 1 to 4. The house is located at 2104 Brownstone Lane. Would love for you to come by. And later in the week, I'll invite you in and give you a quick, virtual tour of it. And then maybe I'll see you on Sunday. How's it sound? Okay, great. Have a great day. 10 seconds, that kind of thing, doing those kinds of things. But every month should be scheduled in advance so that you can see the things you're doing. I'm going to do this training and I'm going to go to this particular webinar and I'm going to go to this community activity event, those kinds of things. And then again, this won't come as a surprise to you. Time blocking your non-negotiables, things that have to get done every day. They've got to be in your calendar because if they don't, you get distracted. And the next thing you know, you didn't do it. And the next thing you know, you're not doing it at all. So again, the key is to first plan and then to stay focused. Focus on creating unbelievable success every day. Take pride in all you do, personally responsible for your individual daily effort. And then this next thing, and Amanda, I know you're driving, so you can't see this, but most of you have seen this before, the 5-point strategy to reaching your full potential. I don't care what they are. These are just some ideas. You may have other ideas. I'd love to hear your ideas. It doesn't have to be today, but I'd love to hear, and have you commit to me and maybe to somebody else in your office. Here are the things I'm going to do each and every day to try to grow my business. Russell, speaking with Beth Ann, speaking to Russell, ask me next Monday if I got with Ben Fuller to talk to him about my website and getting that started. I want you to ask me next Monday if I'm going to do that. Barb, says to Beth Ann, ask me next Monday if I did a FaceTime Live event this week where I, promoted myself and something about my business. That's how it changes. When I know that I've got an answer to somebody, I'm going to get it done. I'm doing this push-up challenge with my son and a good friend of mine and his son, and every day we have to post that we did, we do a video on doing push-ups. Because the fact that I know they're expecting it, there are days I don't want to do it. And sometimes I try to get it done first thing in the morning so I have to think about it again. But sometimes I'm getting in my jammies, ready to go to bed, and I go, oh crap, I forgot to do the push-ups. And down I go to do the push-ups because I don't want to be called out the fact that I didn't get it done. It's a silly thing, but it's the point, right? It's the point that other people are going to be asking me, or I've given them permission to hold me accountable to making sure that kind of thing happens. Thoughts that you guys have. You can look through this. You've seen this list before. I've updated both of these lists for this morning, but any other things that you have that you think you're going to be doing on a daily or weekly basis that you're not seeing here? Well, great. I'm glad that you've got activities set up that you're going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and start doing it as soon as we finish up this Zoom call. This week, again, just to focus you in tomorrow, the AHA class will be on really using open to close and go hand. I want to do this tomorrow because it obviously is just going to give you kind of a broad perspective of it, but I want to show you by sharing the screen how easy it is. And of course, I'm going to get Vincent to be there, so I got a safety net behind me. But I think it's important that I do it to show you that I can do it, and not just Vincent, because I want you to know that it can be done. And the other reason is because then when Ben's here next week, you can fine tune it with him. You can say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm trying to do this. One thing I'm going to try to learn, and maybe learn it before tomorrow morning, is can I print out the list can I just print the list of names? Now that seems kind of crazy, but for me, it's the way I think. If I can print out the list of names, then I have that someplace where I can look at it and I can actually think about, okay, I haven't talked to that person in a while. I'm going to send them an individual message or whatever. And the other thing cool about this, folks, is I would say more than half the people put their cell numbers in with it. They not only give us their email, they give us their cell numbers as well. So now I have that all captured and engaged. The other thing I did, again, learning process, is about halfway through this thing, I thought, I wasn't really thinking about this. I should have not only asked them, do they want to enter the drawing? I should have asked them if they're thinking about buying or selling real estate in 2022. So in the middle of it, I changed it. I went in and edited the open to close thing. And so out of, I don't know how many we got in the last several days, but I got 6 people that said, yes, I'm going to buy or sell in 2022. Now, I've emailed them personally. I went out and emailed them personally and just said, hey, we'd love to earn the right to be a realtor should you decide to buy and sell in 2022. We'll see what happens. But what will happen now is I'll move them not only in that category, but I'll put them in another category about possible prospects, because I know that I want to send them something a little bit more direct, hoping that they'll contact me back so that I can hand these things out as referrals. But I was pretty impressed that we had 5 or 6 people that mentioned that they were interested in buying or selling in 2022. So anyway, we'll go through that tomorrow. And then Wednesday, like I said, business meeting. Love to have you here in person if you can. It's always fun to have the business meeting with people in the room. We'll figure out some good drawings, but we'll also have it on Zoom as well. And I know Mike Grogan's always happy to see you guys when you get a chance to come in. And then because the week's been busy, we'll take Thursday off, not have any training, and we'll take it from there. Thoughts, questions, any questions you have for me? All right, we'll go out there and make it a good day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.